Hello everyone, Lily here. So I took the IELTS test 2 weeks ago and this time I got a 7.5 in academic writing. But do you know I was actually stuck at 6.5 for like 10 times or maybe 12 times. I don't even have the courage to count exactly how many times I failed. So I want to make this video to share my personal story with you guys. This video is not about writing tips. This video is about my incredibly miserable IELTS journey. I want to share my journey with you guys because for one thing, I really want to vent. I bought an expensive online course, but got stuck at 6.5 for like 10 times. That was crazy. And for another thing, I know some of you, or maybe many of you, are just like the old me. Your English is actually good, but you just can't get a 7 because you are learning from very bad teachers or very bad channels. It's actually not your fault that you can't get a 7. It's their fault. All you need to do is stop using the wrong methods they teach to write essays. If you are stuck, don't be too discouraged. Hopefully, this video can inspire you to make a change and stop using the wrong methods to write an essay. I was working at a local language school teaching the IELTS writing and reading sections. When I applied for that job, my writing score was actually a 7.5. I never mentioned that 7.5 because I'm pretty sure that 7.5 was a mistake. That essay I wrote in the exam didn't deserve a 7.5. So 2 years passed and my test result expired. In order to keep the job, I had to take the IELTS exam again. My company required us to get at least a 7 for the sections we taught. So I tried 2 times, but I was only able to get a 6.5 in writing. Again, that 7.5 was definitely a mistake because I couldn't achieve even a 7 using the same approach I used to get that 7.5. I was so afraid of losing my job and my income. If I got fired because I could score only a 6.5 in writing, I would become a joke in front of my colleagues and students. So I bought an online course from a very big YouTube channel, hoping that the course could help me get at least a 7 in writing. I trusted that course so much because they had success stories. The course creator, let's call him Mark. So all of Mark's students were in his Facebook group. Every week, there were like 2 to 3 people posting in the Facebook group that the course helped them get a 7 or 7.5 in writing. This made me believe that if I didn't get a 7, it must be my problem. So I practiced writing essays exactly the way the course taught and submitted my essays for corrections. Here are 2 of the essays I submitted for their corrections. I submitted like 5 essays in total. For each essay I submitted, they gave me an overall score of 7.5 and an A for task response. Later, I will tell you why these essays only deserve a 6.5, but can you believe it? They gave me a 7.5. I'm still mad because the course was very expensive and the IELTS exam has always been expensive. So because they gave me very high scores for all the essays I submitted for corrections, I thought I could just go ahead and take the test and I would get a 7.5. But I took the test 3 times and it was a heartbreaking 6.5 for all 3 times. So I had to continue practicing for the exam. As I practiced, my English just got better and better. I took the test 3 more times, but still couldn't get a 7. I wrote the essays exactly the way they taught, and it was always a 6.5. I was thinking of applying for a remark. I wrote out what I wrote in task 2 based on my memories, sent it to them, and asked if I should apply for a remark. I got this response from a so-called ex-examiner from their team. Basically, he was saying that my English was good and it was very strange that I got a 6.5, but I didn't apply for a remark because remarks were very expensive. I thought it may be better to just take the test again. So I took the test 3 more times, or maybe 4 times, I can't remember. And each time it was still a heartbreaking 6.5. At that point, my English was already very good. I just didn't think continuing working on my English would increase my score. So I asked them again if I should apply for a remark. Here's the response I got. While it's impossible to say if there were any issues with your task 1 without seeing the question and your answer, your description sounds like it was very well organized, and the overview sounds clear and complete. Your task 2 essay, on the other hand, is very clearly spot on in terms of how you responded to the question, and it is also very well written in terms of accurate use of language. As you can see, that fake examiner told me again my essay was well written. Why do I say he's a fake examiner? Obviously, he had no idea of how to write a good IELTS essay. I didn't know it back then, but I know now that my old essays were just at a 6.5 level because of the wrong way they taught us to develop our paragraphs. This time, I did apply for a remark because I seriously didn't know what else to do. I took the test about 10 times after buying their course, and it was always a 6.5. At that point, a remark seemed to be my only hope. Unfortunately, the score remained unchanged after the remark. This made me start doubting if what they were teaching was really the correct way to write an IELTS essay. I started doubting also because many students in their Facebook group were complaining. I think they had 2,000 students in their Facebook group back then. I can't remember the exact number. Most of these people were not able to get a 7 in writing. Many were posting complaints that they tried many times but were unable to get a 7. I remember clearly there was a woman who posted a post saying that she noticed those who got a 7 in writing were mainly those taking the general training test. What about us who take the academic test? I was like, yes, thousands of students bought their course, but every week, only 2 to 3 people, I'm pretty sure no more than 5 people were posting that they got a 7 in writing. And of the people who got a 7, many took the general training test. As their business grew bigger and bigger, there were more and more complaints, and they had to enable post approvals. They had to review our posts before approving them for posting. No negative posts were allowed. And then the pandemic came. We were in lockdown. Thank God I wasn't able to take a test for a while. I calmed down and tried to find out the reason for my low score. One day, when I was searching online for how to write an example in Task 2, I stumbled upon a blog post by an ex-examiner. In that blog post, the examiner directly accuses Mark of teaching students to write incorrect examples. Mark has a big YouTube channel, so everybody in the industry knows him. This was the type of example that Mark taught us to write. He taught us to use fake numbers and studies in our examples. For example, in an interview conducted by Washington Post, notes that it should be the Washington Post, and they didn't correct that error. Among 500 children aged between 5 and 15 years old, 60% of them considered their parents as the people who understood them best. According to an extensive study by Rice University, an astonishing 60% of criminals in the United States either received homeschooling or did not go to school at all in their childhood. Did you see how absurd this fake example is? And they gave me an A for task response. The problem with this kind of example is that it doesn't explain anything clearly. Your example normally occupies half of the paragraph. How was I supposed to get a 7 when half of my paragraph sounds absurd and explains nothing clearly? And I've seen some people in my 3-day challenge write examples like that. They probably watched Mark's YouTube videos. By the way, we are hosting the 3-day writing task 2 challenge again. Click the link in the description to take a look. The link is in the description, not the comment section. Now back to my story. Because Mark didn't approve any negative posts, I can only show you guys a positive post. Look at this post in their Facebook group. It has been 2 years I joined this group and I appeared more than 10 times and every time the writing module put me down. This person was exactly like me. We took the test 10 times after we bought his course. If everything he taught was correct, there's no way we needed to take the test 10 times to get at least a 7. You can't just look at the surface. Yes, a big channel may be selling a course that has some success stories, but what's the success rate of their students? I think Mark's course probably has a success rate of only 2 to 3%. Only 2 to 3 out of 100 of his students succeed. So I realized what was causing the problem and stopped making up numbers and studies. All I did was stop using fake numbers, and I took the test again and got a 7, just like that. I'm telling you this story because I want you to know the importance of make a change. I kept getting a 6.5 because I kept using the same wrong methods to write essays. If your English is good or if your English is improving, but you are stuck at a 6 or 6.5, it's probably because the way you answer the question is incorrect. If you keep using the incorrect way to write essays, you probably will keep getting a 6.5. Don't get discouraged though. If you make a change, you may get a 7 or above the next time you take the test. And I also want you to know how easy it is to get at least a 7 if you know the correct way to write an IELTS essay. My channel is a small channel. I don't have many viewers, but of the small number of viewers I have, many of them got a 7 or 7.5. And 2 of my viewers even got an A in writing. And please note, they didn't get a high score by taking the test 10 times over the course of 2 years. That's just crazy. As for me, I didn't write any essays for half a year because I was recording a course. This time, I just practiced 2 essays before the exam and got a 7.5. I think my viewers actually have a much higher success rate than viewers of big channels, and I think one of the reasons my tips are so helpful is that I didn't learn all those things from IELTS teachers. I learned how to report data accurately from people working in data analysis. And I learned how to write good examples and how to fully develop a paragraph by reading books like this one. I know getting the score you need is important for you. I don't need to do a 9-to-5 job and I'm able to make a living through this YouTube channel because I discovered the secret to getting a 7 or above in IELTS writing. IELTS changed my life and I believe it can change yours as well. If you get the score you need, you will be able to get your dream job or go to your dream university. Don't give up if you stuck at a low score in writing. You seriously need to change the way you answer a writing question. You need to make a change. If you keep using the wrong method, you will be just like the old me, stuck at 6.5 forever. Alright, that's it for this video. If you like my videos, you may also like our 3-day writing task 2 challenge. The link is in the description. Just take a look. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon.